Which gets us to our main topic of the day, which has to do with Donald J. Trump, the 45th president of the United States. Now, what does this meme say? Let's read this meme. Let me bring it up larger so I can see it. So this meme comes from Stoney Simpkins. What's up to Stoney Simpkins? You know what I'm saying? We appreciate your voice out here as you voice your opinion. I am indifferent about Trump, but I don't know. I think that's a typo. I abhor Joe Biden, old devilish, pedophile, beguiling, conniving ass.
Well, that's descriptive.
I think Stoney Simpkins. See, Stoney Simpkins is from Cleveland. He's in Cleveland, I believe. I believe that's one of my Cleveland friends, right? On the Facebook, right? And so he's from Cleveland, and that's how Cleveland talks. If you want to know, I'm indifferent about Trump, but I abhor. See, we break out those 2-syllable words that people be like, what does abhor mean? Just can't stand abhor. I just can't stand Joe Biden, old devilish, beguiling, conniving ass. Conniving. We use that word constantly in Cleveland. Conniving. Mm-hmm. That's a Cleveland thing. You want to know? That's the way we put words together. We put words together just like that. I'm indifferent about Trump, but I abhor Joe Biden, old devilish, pedo, beguiling, conniving ass.
That's how we put it together.
Just let that sit. Just let that sit for a minute. Let that sit for a minute. I got to read it one more time because it's just so good before I get to the main part about the Washington Times. I said the Post. I got to change it to Washington Times did it. But anyway, I am indifferent about Trump, but I abhor Joe Biden, old devilish, pedo, beguiling, conniving ass. Okay, so the WashingtonTimes.com reports Trump's approval rating with, I say, American black voters soars by 60% during the RNC poll says. Now, if you listen to channels like MSNBC, networks like MSNBC and CNN, they will tell you that the viewership of the RNC was down and it was below the Democrats. I don't believe that. I don't believe that malarkey. Look, I'm using one of Joe Biden's words. Malarkey. I don't believe one bit of that malarkey at all. That's not true. That's not so. Right? So, back to Donald Trump. Risen by 60% his approval rating to blacks. Now, you have the blacks that are in the Democrats calling everybody coons. It was a minstrel show, this one lady said they got up there. None of the people who got up there were tap dancing or dancing. They didn't have on blackface. They just talked about and gave you facts about what Donald Trump had done for them, what Donald Trump had done for the historical black colleges and universities, what he did as far as reversing what Biden had done, what he's done for individuals, how he has communed or pardoned people, pardoned their sentences or communed their sentences so they could be released. This is what they said. So it's not about what people say, it's about the actions, and we keep on saying it's about policies, because Biden wiped out the black community with the 100-to-1 cocaine, crack cocaine to cocaine, and he wiped out the community with the 3 strikes. One under a Republican president, one under a Democrat president, and Trump is correcting that. So you have to ask yourself, after you do the research, what has the man actually done? Now, like I said, we would have to have a mass exodus like it was during the days of Truman, when W.E.B. Du Bois urged black people to move from the Republican Party over to the Democrat Party. And then when Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act after Kennedy was assassinated, after it was pushed and Martin Luther King was able to push it, he passes through. We have been solid Democrat ever since then, but the Democrats have done nothing to do anything to advance the plight of the inner city. Matter of fact, they have fled the inner city to do urban sprawl in the suburbs while leaving you and taking the money and leaving. Those are Democrats and Republicans doing that to the inner city. And when they come back to the inner city, they re-gentrify and you're out on your keister. Look, that's another term. Out on your keister, right? Out on your keister, right? So this is what's happening as we're sitting here and we're looking at the situation. So 60% rise in approval rating since that, and the Democrats have given nothing, but they are surely going to give everything to the immigrant that American blacks should have, just as reparations, just as a step in reparations. What do you have to say about that?
I was jotting down a couple of notes while you were talking. What's funny is that you will have you ever seen those people like the whole time? I don't know if you've ever been sitting in a room while you're listening to the news or one of Trump's speeches, and you're sitting in a room, and when you look around at the faces of black people, they're already their faces are already set to start going into a certain form the minute the man starts talking. They automatically looking like, there's a slight delay. So they're looking like that. And then the whole time, there's the stank look on their face, everything he's saying, not listening to content. And then when you get into an after conversation, and I don't want anybody to, I care about the thoughts and opinions to the extent of you realizing that we're not trying to belittle your opinion and how you feel about things. However, I want you to switch your eyeglasses, like Fred Sanford had the drawer with all the glasses. He had to put on the right glasses so he could see straight. I want you to be able to switch your eyeglass prescription so that you can see what I'm saying. So we have all these strong passions about somebody that we don't like. We have all these strong passions about points that have no content. Because when you go to ask these people who are anti-Trump, when you go to ask them, well, what exactly don't you like about him? Well, he's a racist. Okay, so what points, what is it that makes you call him a racist? So you just start asking things. You're not being antagonistic. I might be asking you that because I've never seen anything that indicated that to me. I just never seen it. So I might be asking you, what is it that make you call him a racist? And then you can't tell me. If you're going to be passionate about whether you support him or don't support him, you need to have content to back up your points. You need to have content that backs up your statements. Because if I'm a person that just don't know, because maybe I'm not following it, I'm not following the politics, so I'm asking you, because maybe I respect your opinion and your view on things, and I'm asking you, why do you feel that he's a racist? Why do you feel this? And you got to give me some content.